Hi, everyone. It's Orit Esther Ryder, and I am once again with a beautiful guest here. We're actually live from Toronto. This is the first time we're doing it this way, where we're actually in the same room.
So nice.
It really is. So welcome, Amy, and I welcome all of the listeners once again to OrTalk, our podcast interview series where soul meets healing, meets Emuna, meets transformation. And it's very, very exciting to have you all here. I am very excited from our guest here, Amy Stopnicki, who is a chef, a food writer, a speaker. She inspires thousands and thousands of people to go into the kitchen and be excited and cook with enthusiasm and with Emuna.
That's right.
And also, Amy is a graduate from our level 1 training, energy training.
That's right.
So I'm really, really happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so honored and happy to be here.
Really.
Thank you.
And this is very exciting. And I happen to be here in Toronto because I was here last night. The Vart of one of my boys got married to a local Toronto girl.
So nice.
So we're very excited. So this is like a double whammy, a great celebration for all of us. So we're very, very happy to be here. And I want to start off by asking you, how do you see, like, I'm a trained chef by profession.
I know. Okay?
So, this is very exciting for you.
Yes.
Totally relate.
Yeah.
And I have had your biscottis and they're finger licking good. And I'm smelling the challah this is real time. I'm smelling the challah in the kitchen. It's for her whole house. She really does live this whole beautiful entity of just inspiring us to cook with joy and with Hashem in mind and just with so much simcha. I want to ask you, is there a place for something so mundane as cooking, right? It's so physical. It's so coarse.
Yes.
Where do you have a sense of a meeting between heaven and earth and spirituality while you cook? I mean, is there a moment where you're cooking, where you're realizing and you're saying to yourself, you know what? I can find Hashem. I can find God. I can find spirituality. I can bring the two together. Is there a place?
Okay, absolutely. First of all, this is what I live and breathe. Okay, like we were saying. So I feel like the first thing I need to say is everything in life that we have that's physical, we as Jews, as Yidden, we try and raise it up to a spiritual level. Okay? When we think about food, even though it is, that's what it is. It's physical and it feeds our bodies physically.
Right.
But think about this. If we don't eat, our neshamas, our souls, leave our body. So it's actually the ultimate connector.
Wow.
Okay?
Love
like
it.
Food is actually, if you think about it, the ultimate connector. So not only do we raise food up by levels from making a bracha before we eat it and, making it spiritual that way, but just the entity of and the idea of eating, that is what we're doing. So
Love it.
I first want to say that's very pinnacle. Like that's the umbrella to me. But what else is it? And I talk about this every time I do a cooking demo. I always start with I like cooking, but it's not the act of sitting there in the kitchen with the food that I like. What do I like? Food is nurturing. Food is spirituality. Food is a connector. So when we're making food and we see people enjoying food and having our food and partaking in our food, it's often around a mitzvah. It's often around a beautiful Shabbos table. It's often, and to me, that's what it's about.
Love it.
Love it. That's that's my short, I could talk about this for hours.
I'm sure.
But that's my the nucleus, the point.
It's really true. The Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh teaches us that our body is a mitzvah factory.
Right.
Without the body feeling receiving the nourishment that it needs from good cooking food, even if it has some sugar and calories, a lot of sugar, calories, and chocolate involved with it, which I'm very pro. Everyone thinks oh, you're so healthy eating. I'm in between the chocolate souffle, yeah, I'm very healthy. It's like you have your cake and eat it too, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So at least we try. But the Baal Shem Tov teaches us that our body, if we don't nourish our body, meaning seeing our body as being holy, then we can't do mitzvahs. How does the soul express itself?
100%.
Right?
And I think even more to the point when it comes to food that, like you said, when you opened, it really is pure physical. That's what it is. But we can raise the level. And like when I'm cooking in my kitchen by myself, it's sometimes one of my most spiritual times.
Wow.
Where I'm sitting there and as I'm cutting my vegetables for salad, often Shabbos morning, I spend a lot of the morning making salads.
Nice.
And I daven and I have do my thing and, but then I continue my davening while I'm cooking.
Oh, I love it.
And I'm standing in my kitchen and I'm literally saying, thank you, Hashem. Thank you that I'm here. Thank you that the people are going to enjoy this food. Thank you that they're going to be here.
Wow.
I think so much about everything we do in life is about intention.
I love it. Right? Energy flows where intention goes.
That's right. And it's so funny because sometimes, I mean, of course, we all have days when things don't come out so great. And my kids, they say, what's the problem? I said, there wasn't enough love in the food today.
And your kids feel it, don't they?
My kids feel it. For sure.
My kids my kids literally used to be like, Ma, you weren't in what's cooked today, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, why? How do you salt? You didn't have enough. It didn't have the same. It doesn't taste the same.
Right?
Your schnitzel
Even
is
if you're
different.
making the same recipe.
Yeah.
But if your head is in 500 other places, you could do the same process, the same recipe. And my kids are like, what happened?
Right.
Like, what's going on? I'm like, there wasn't one. I wasn't there. My head, I wasn't in it. Like,
Right.
Right.
You just wanted to
I just wanted to do it, get it done.
Right. Just feed your stomachs and go to bed, go to sleep. So bye-bye.
So, like, the way we learn that, it's brought down to me, from my teachers that I've been learning with, when you do anything and you have the proper kavanah, it doesn't matter what it is. Let's say you're doing homework with your children, but you have the kavanah that this is a chesed to your children. It changes it.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. I do. I find mamish like when you again, you could take the same recipe and if you're like, wow, and you're sauteing the onions and you're like, that's perfect. And you're like excited also by what you're cooking. I know you cook with a lot of joy and excitement and, like pizzazz. And that really makes a big difference. That's one of the reasons why I have this intention to write this 5th book, Emuna with cooking, because it really, and doing energy work, it's like when you could put your right energy into it, your children can feel the love. I'll tell you a story.
Yes.
When we came back to Tshuva, one of the stories that one of the Rebbeim were saying, I think it was from Gateways, he said, you know where I really get the people to come back to Tshuva? Mm-hmm. He says they come back to Tshuva on my wife's chulins.
Yes.
And I was like mesmerized. He says, because when you cook for Shabbos with the intention of L'chvot Shabbat Kodesh, he says that is ingested in the cells of their body. And there's a reason why they say eating Shabbos food has a special taste. You say, what makes the special taste for Shabbos? Hashem, when you say L'chvot Shabbat Kodesh in honor of Shabbat, Hashem as though takes the man and sprinkles it onto your food so it becomes a taste, so that everyone tastes the food exactly to their palate. Yes. Because that's what man did, right?
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah. How do you infuse Emuna into your man, into your cooking?
I'll tell you, I think what I do mostly is, as I'm cooking, first of all, the one thing I do, and most people in my family will know, and like this week I have, out of town company, I say to them, like, what do you want? What do you like for Shabbos? And I try my best to make something that everyone, I'm making it for them anyways. So if they have a request, I love that. I try and do that. What if you have 10 requests though? Yeah, Mom, I want this. I know. I generally try my best. Right. I'll make 10 things if I need to. You know what I mean? Right. But so it's really about that. And then like we're saying about the intention of when I'm cooking, I just put in my head, in my heart, in my hands that, these should be, I always do this when anything I do, going into a meeting, going into my work, going into here, Hashem, give me the right words, give me the right intention, so give me the right spices, give me the right whatever, and Baruch Hashem, my food usually tastes okay. I'm sure it's more than just okay. It's okay. I'm sure that it's more than okay. Yeah, I kind of have the visualization in my head while I'm cooking of who's going to be eating it and them around the table and them enjoying it. Beautiful. So I feel like that's my... Right. Well, the table is the mizbeach. And all the bracha comes. Exactly. They say also you should have leftover bread from Shabbos and the salt leftover from Shabbos. Yes. Have something from Shabbos on your table because your table is the vessel to receive blessings, right? Right, to receive the blessings to come into your home. Absolutely. And Shabbat is makor bracha, is the source of blessing. We actually don't throw out any bread.
There's an idea
in our
behind that.
house. We
What do you do with it?
I keep my bread. I have one of those, like, little things for all
Right.
clear the table,
Sweepers.
sweepers.
Love them.
Keep it in a Ziploc bag, and I don't throw it out until it's like really not food anymore.
Right. And there is a
Without being-
segula. There's actually a
Yeah.
segula for that.
Yeah.
When we have leftover bread, you know where I put it? I put
Where?
it on top of the refrigerator so when
Right.
it spoils.
Yeah. Because then
you
yeah,
can
so
throw it
that's
around.
the
It's
same
not
idea.
edible.
Right.
And you should know they say that does draw down a lot of blessings.
So
Because if you could cherish breadcrumbs,
right.
then Hashem says, "Oh, okay, the blessings here are
Right.
sacred. They're
Right.
being appreciated.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
So, what other Torah values do you like? Talk to your food. Do you learn? Do you listen to Shur? I know. I
Always
love
listen to share when
right
I'm
when you're
when I'm cooking.
You feel
I'm
it?
learning. I have something in my ear, and if
Amazing.
I have to sometimes take breaks because I'm also posting or filming a video.
Right.
Okay. But I always have something like I'm trying, and usually because that's my most interesting topic that I like to hear
Wow.
is Emuna and bitachon. So I'm usually listening to something about Emuna and bitachon,
Nice.
in my ear while I'm
That's
standing in my
nice.
kitchen. My kids are always like, "Mom." I'm like, just 1 second.
You're finishing up the last
Yeah,
sentence.
finishing
right?
up. I'll give you my attention in 1 minute.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, what's your favorite recipe? I want to know.
Oh wow!
Well, like, is it sweet? Is it savory? Like, what do you love to?
What I love
is
to
your
cook?
like what is your taiva per se in the sense of pleasure, your oneg?
So it's interesting. First of all, if someone once said to me, like, when you're a cookbook author, Mirz Hashem, soon you're gonna see that Bezrat Hashem. When someone says, like, what's your favorite recipe? It's like, what's your favorite child? Like,
Wow.
you can't pick your favorite recipe.
Right.
I can't pick my favorite recipe.
Well, those biscottis were unbelievable. They were heaven. They were heaven sent.
But it's funny that you say that. And I actually was just today when I was making my challah, did a story for Instagram. I'm like, once I'm baking, my bowls are out and my measuring cups are out, and can you guess what I'm baking? And I was making biscotti.
Wow.
So
nice.
I do it. Biscotti is definitely something I kind of always like to have around, always have in the house.
Oh, so yummy.
For sure. And I think I really love vegetables. I really love to
salad,
cook.
like salad?
Salads, roasted vegetables, cooked vegetables, fresh salads. I love to be creative with mixing textures and colors and
so give me I want a
flavors.
recipe like a
So I
roasted-
did
what's like an unusual kind of
Okay, so I did this was a little while ago, and this was a stunning salad, which was beautiful in color. A purple cabbage, celery, carrots, nuts, chickpeas.
Well, look at those colors.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Seeing that
it was beautiful, and I kind of like everything was kind of chunky. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love
with
it.
a sweet kind of mapley balsamic dressing.
Nice. And it stays?
It stays.
Even with the dressing?
Yeah, it stays. It's kind of like a marinated salad. It stays 2-3 days.
That's
all you need.
Yeah, that'll be
Trust
done
me,
by
it's
then.
gone. See? Exactly.
Right.
It'll be done by then. I also like to play, give myself challenges where I'll go into the fridge and I'll be like, okay, Amy, what's in the fridge?
Really?
Let's play chopped.
Wow.
Let's use 3 ingredients and make a recipe.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Well, once you get started with it, you can also know you feel, right?
Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem, because he does help me with this. Usually when I have an idea, I can execute it pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah, that only thanks to Hashem, because I put those things together, and and then I'm standing in my kitchen. I'm often also doing a lot of breathing when I'm cooking. Just kind of being in the moment and being in the zone. And
you have to pay attention to everything. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. You do have to be present.
Absolutely.
You can't cook and not be present. It is, I think, the perfect ADD kind of antidote, honestly.
It's true.
Because you have to be focused. You have to know, I have to pay attention to the oven.
Yes.
Like, you're just so nice. You picked me up. You're like, wait a minute, my oven, I have to turn off my...
Right?
You have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
You have to be present. Even if you are thinking about a million things, you have to always zone back into what does it take for that recipe to not be ruined.
It's so interesting because I feel like you don't necessarily notice how many things you can learn from cooking and from being in the kitchen. But I want to tell you a quick story. Do I have time to
Of
tell you a quick
course.
story? Okay. So a few summers ago, I was teaching a very intensive group of kids teaching cooking.
Okay.
I was actually in camp, which is
What were the age
that's
groups?
a whole other story for me. I was teaching 9 to 12-year-olds and 14 to 16-year-olds.
Oh, dear.
2 sessions.
Wow.
Very intensive cooking. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I said to them, so tell me what you've learned. And I was so fascinated. I was thinking they're going to tell me like they learned that they could maybe eat tofu once in a while, or they could try it, or, whatever. And they were like, I learned patience. And I was like, what?
I love it.
They said, yeah, because you taught us how to build flavors, and we know that it takes time.
Why, I love that.
And I was so honored. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
wow.
Look how you learned that meat. Who would think?
That's a very special thing to learn.
That is so amazing.
I was like, because I always talked about, I would put my onions on and add my vegetables, and then I would teach them, okay, and now we'll make something else while we, do this. And I didn't even realize how much they internalized.
That is amazing.
It was very special.
Real. I also feel like creativity comes out. I mean, you're telling them, okay, so if you want, you can add in this. If you want, you can add in that, and it stirs up the mind.
Absolutely.
To be right, very creative.
Yeah, it's a very creative place.
Right.
And you'll often hear about people who they're in one career and then they go and become a chef, or they think they want to be corporate, but then they realize that it's like the other side of their brain,
Correct,
or whatever, and they end up in food.
Wow.
And they end up, and it's so interesting to me because there really is, it can be like on such a basic level, like we're saying,
right,
but it really can be so much more.
100%. Well, it's all that you put into it.
Right.
Again, here we go
Here
again
go.
with the energy.
It's a theme.
Energy,
Right?
And energy is intention, and energy is light, and you can literally infuse your whole kitchen. And what I also find is that there's because there's this transference of your intention in the food. I have actually recommended,
yes,
not once and not twice, for mothers who have like a little bit of a strained relationship with their kids,
right,
to like dive in on the food.
Yeah.
You're packing them up,
giving it to them, right,
in the morning. You're putting together their snack bag, their lunch book,
give
right?
them some extra.
Yeah,
That's
first
beautiful.
of all, you could also always write a note. I love those lunch notes.
Me too. It's so special.
Every day
you get your.
Yeah, mommy loves you. Remember, I hope you're smiling right now when you're opening up the bag. Like, just
Absolutely.
It seems like silly and whatever. But my kids up until today remember the lunch notes.
It's so true. And I mean, again, in our religion, food is really everything. I mean, like, God forbid someone passes away, and what do? We all bring food.
Correct.
And Simcha, and we all want to bring food. And someone is making a birthday party, and we all want to bring food. And we all,
Right.
it's really, and I don't think it's because we all love standing in our kitchens, scooping out cookie dough.
The way we transfer love.
It's the way we transfer love. It's the way we give. It's,
Right.
and nothing makes me happier than
Wow.
giving something and then someone saying, oh, thank you so much. Or even better, oh, I saw your recipe for this, or I have your cookbook for this. And, your balsamic chicken is our favorite Yantif chicken.
Oh, wow, that's such a great feeling. That's a great feeling.
It's very special. I always say that's my nachas.
Oh, that's so sweet. I mean, I could just imagine your kids walking through the door and, Mom, did you make that? Oh, wow, yeah. And look, they go from one. It's so nice. What a great feeling.
It is, and that's ultimately
That is
what it's
so
about.
nice.
It's about the feeling, right? Yes,
100%.
It's fun and it's beautiful and it's colorful, and I love we eat with our eyes, and it's so amazing when we have a beautiful plate in front of us.
Yes.
But even that, I make a few salads. Like I said, I make a lot of salads on Shabbos, and one of them that I make is like very pretty and organized and whatever. People are like, why? Like, even when just my family, they're like, why are you doing this? Like, what? Because I want to show them that the intention. I don't need to just make a pretty salad when I have 30 guests. I want you to know.
Oh, that is a great message.
Yeah, I do it for you because
I love what you just said. Because how many of us, we go ahead and we prepare and we do all this, and then what do the kids ask? Who's coming over that you're preparing so much? And you could just say to them, you're coming.
You're coming.
You're here. My kids ask me often, who's coming for Shabbos? And I'm like, the Shechina.
Right.
The Shechina's coming for Shabbos. Yeah, that's why we're making all this. For the Shechina.
You see?
Right? Oh, I love it. But I love that you really bring it into practice.
Yeah. It's important.
gorgeous.
It's important to me.
Send that message.
It's very important to me.
To send that
you know?
message. And we do. We show a lot of love. Like, if somebody's not feeling well, here, I made you a cup of tea. I brought you your favorite cookie. And you know what? That really does. There's a transference of love.
There is, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're the master of, of this. But also, you think about it, and I think you remember that. Like, you remember when I had such a bad cold and so came
Right.
over in a winter storm and brought me soup? Like,
yes.
it resonates. It
totally
stays
does.
with you. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
So 100%. So I'm going to ask you, let's go out of the kitchen a little bit.
Yes, please.
What nourishes you besides food? Is there anything else that nourishes you? Like you, Amy. Amy, right here. What else nourishes you? What else brings you happiness? What else?
So I'll tell you. It's funny that you're asking that because you are the second person to ask me that this week.
Oh, there you go. So we know that's all about energy, right?
Know, exactly.
Intention.
When Hashem, yes. So right. So other than food and everything we're discussing, I would still say what really nourishes me is making people happy.
Nice. Well, that does come through with food.
I know. So, but even if it's not food, like even if it's just someone who calls me on the phone and says, "Hi, I know you had twins and I just had twins and could we talk?" And I just give over the little bit of, experience that I have or knowledge that I have or
right.
That's what gives me my, like, I go to bed at night and I'm like, okay, I did something.
That's so beautiful.
It's really.
That's beautiful. So that's feeding the soul.
Yes.
And their heart.
Yes.
And here, food also does feel their soul and their heart, but this is in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way. I feel like I just want to be, I don't know.
Beautiful.
I want to be helpful to people.
Beautiful. Well, you are. I mean, I know when I look at your clips, it's very inspiring.
Oh, thank
you. Listen, that brings me really into the next question. How do you encourage? So many women are like, "Oh, dinner again. I'm going to make them meatballs and spaghetti." How do you get a woman to have that? Not to look at cooking food as like a burden, like. First of all, meal planning. I tell a lot of women. Right? So I think this is something that the women,
I think so too.
And men too.
I agree. And whoever's responsible for cooking dinner that night, they want. I think that so much of it is if you feel a little bit organized and if you feel like you're a little bit, prepared.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to do the chop thing once in a while and see what's in the fridge. But I think for the most part, it's good to have a bit of a schedule, a bit.
Right.
A bit of what, I know that I want to make meat and milchik and parv and meat and, whatever it is. I think that that's firstly. I also think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves sometimes. Food doesn't have to be complicated to taste really good.
I like that.
And I think, I always often when I'm talking about food or I'm sharing food recipes, I have a hashtag called pantry to table.
Oh,
it's like what's in your house?
I like that.
What's, like you can take out some canned beans and canned corn and sweet potatoes and you can make an unbelievable vegetarian chili.
Oh, I love it.
And like, so I think it's so much about not putting, like everything in life, we put pressure on ourselves.
Right.
And if we can not, and then we can just kind of let it be and be in the moment and be in the space. And I think also like what we said earlier about, just doing homework with our children and having the intention that this is a chesed. If it is something that you hate, understand that it's that more of a chesed for you.
That's true.
It is.
That's true.
Right? Because we got to feed our families.
Right. 100%.
Right? But so if it's that, okay, so, tell yourself how well you're doing and how much it's appreciated, whatever 100%. It is that you're making, because, it's that much more.
So here's your opportunity to break your nature and do something that you don't really feel like it.
Right.
For the purpose of, I love my kids.
Yeah.
The purpose of, I love my kids. I love my family. I love my spouse. I love whatever.
I want them to be nourished. Right. And I'm the one who's responsible for that now.
Right.
So
100%.
I think.
Right. I also, for me, if I don't feel inspired at one night to cook, I'll be like, okay, it's sandwich night. So I'm going to make sandwiches, but fun. I'm going to make it fun.
Totally.
I'm going to buy different types of,
Totally.
deli. I'm going to buy different pickles. I'm going to buy spicy fries and this fry, right? I'm going to buy even potato chips. And we're and
you're gonna
so,
make
right. And two different types of bread. And then what I do is I slice everything out and I put them
Put it all out.
like they have a salad bar.
Love it.
And you could just make your own sandwich, right? And your ketchup, the mustard, this and that.
You feel like you didn't make dinner, and they feel like, what a treat.
Right. I love those type of let's just have like a family sub night,
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I loved Subway when I was eating not kosher.
Oh.
I really liked Subway. And so I really have the shtick with the vinegar.
The vinegar to make the special sauce.
Oh my gosh.
I never had
the baguette. Oh my gosh, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
The vinegar makes a whole big difference on the whole thing. And then the sliced jalapenos, even if you don't like spicy, it just adds that spunk to it. Anyway, you can really take something and just make it.
I agree.
The other thing I do, this is just me, I like to prepare things in advance. So I'll buy chopped meat.
Right.
And I'll buy like 3 kilos of it, and I'll just make the whole mix in it, and I'll put it into baggies. And this way,
pull it out. You can make bolognese.
Yeah,
you can make chopped meat into hummus. You can make whatever.
Chili with it.
Yeah,
I could do whatever
you want.
But it's ready to go. I'm already buying it. Yeah. I don't buy it frozen, so I don't have to freeze the frost.
You just cook it and freeze it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think anything like that makes you feel, like I said a minute ago, more organized.
Yes.
Definitely.
100%.
I also think if there's one meal that you could have as your go-to meal, where when you just don't feel like making dinner, you know that you'll never mind making that.
Right.
Also,
right.
Like for example, yeah, right.
Very
like if you just have that, like we love Mexican food in our family. So funny that you say that. So funny that you say that about chili and about whatever. But often I'll find I'll have leftover grilled chicken from Shabbos, and on a Monday night I'll be like, okay, you know what? We'll just make fajitas, or we'll just make tacos. It's my go-to. Sometimes I'll make a rice to go with it, or guacamole to go with it, or whatever, and all the fun things. But if I have steak left over, then we have meat fajitas. Kind of just make it work, because that's my go-to.
In other words, you don't make such a big meal. You're basically you know what? We have dinner. Okay, I got to prepare it anyway. Let's at least infuse. How did you get to be in this joyful place to cook? Was it always a joy of yours, even when you were younger?
You know what?
Always were happy?
I always was. It's funny because I found cooking when I was a teenager, and I didn't know that I enjoyed it at all. Then I had to start cooking for some, family and things like that. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then I remember, so sad actually, well, bittersweet, when I was 15, my grandfather passed away, Zechrano Livracha, and I made my mom was sitting Shiva, I made Friday night dinner. And I remember for the entire family, because everyone was coming for just Friday night, not Shabbos day. And I remember my aunt coming up to me and asking me when I was 15 for my brisket recipe.
Really?
And I was like, wow. So right then when I realized that someone else was enjoying something that I made, I didn't realize it on a conscious level.
Wow.
But on a subconscious level, I felt like, oh, wow, this is exciting.
Wow.
This is fun.
I have a somewhat similar story. So, growing up my mother was a single mom. My parents got divorced when they were young. And my mother did not like the kitchen very much. I mean, she made goulash, she made chicken soup, she made some basic stuff every so often, but it was basically, here's money, go to the deli, get yourself a nice Kaiser roll, American cheese sandwich, whatever.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Or Chef Boyardee, we just open up, eat it straight out of the can, we don't even heat it up. So I grew up in a home where my mother, and I understand, no qualms around it. That's just who she was. So if I wanted a home cooked meal, I had to cook it for myself. That was just the reality, right? And so when my mother got remarried to her second husband, Alav Shalom, he really loved to eat. And I saw the way he would respond when he would go to his sister, and she would make him he was Turkish, so he all the Sephardi food and whatever. And I said, I really loved him as a second father, real father. And I said, I want to make him happy. I'm going to learn to cook. And I started learning to cook for him.
Oh, wow. That was
my inspiration. And I realized, just like you, and you said those are the two things that make you happy, right?
Yeah.
I realized what a smile it brought to his face every time I said, Shlomo, here's the food.
Right.
And it just made me happy. Right?
Yeah. So
you really can't, they say, how do you make a husband happy? The way to make him happy is through his stomach, right?
My husband too.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Like this, right?
No, I know.
Yeah.
And my husband happens to be a very good cook himself and a foodie.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Oh yeah. I mean, he does more like he does smoking and meat and all that kind of stuff. I do the cooking.
Does he take over?
On the barbecue,
Okay.
he'll do like, we'll do like we'll do it together. We do like a barbecue brisket, like an 8-hour, 10-hour
Ooh,
throughout
you
the
have
day.
a smoker?
We have, well, sometimes he wouldn't have a smoker. He uses chips. He's like the real deal.
Wow.
Yeah, he uses like smoking chips. We do it in the barbecue.
Why would I think anything different about the authentic?
Authentic, whatever.
Love it.
So he appreciates it. Like yeah,
Nice.
And
very nice. Oh my gosh, you're giving me another reason to come back to Toronto,
right?
Oh, for that.
Well, maybe I have to make you that brisket.
I came back to the biscottis. Now I'm going to come
back. But
the
brisket is the real reason.
Wow. Love it.
So
that's beautiful.
That's the thing, when the people that are close to you,
right,
appreciate it.
Yes. Beautiful.
Right?
And your kids aren't picky?
My kids are so picky.
Oh, because you got them.
Yeah, but they eat a lot of things.
Right. Okay.
But they like picky in the way of how I made things and how I do things.
Well, can they eat outside the house? Like, can they enjoy food outside the house?
They can.
I love that. But that's a nice way of saying,
they can. And then they come home and say, "Mommy, could you please?"
Wow. I eat a little bit.
I can make this.
Yeah, I noticed at my friends, but I really want food from you.
And it's not because there are a million phenomenal cooks.
Right.
They're just a lot of children like their mom's food.
Right. They do.
Don't you think?
Because again, that's
how they
the
grew
love.
up.
No, so that's the love. They feel mommy's love in the food.
Exactly.
Even if it's just smearing something on a sandwich, they feel mom's love.
Yeah.
And
then once in a while, when, just like everyone else, I'm tired and I want to order pizza.
She's tired. Can you believe she's actually tired?
And I want to order pizza or something else. They're like, "What's going on tonight? What's this?
What's the excuse?
Oh
my God.
I've gotten them trained. My one of my children, whatever.
Yeah.
In 4th grade, I remember I was like having a busy day. I bought some takeout from like whatever. He sits down at the table and he's like, so is this a new recipe?
Wow.
Like that. I'm like, why do you ask? He's like, well, it's just a little different.
I like that's such an eloquent way of saying, "Mom, what was wrong with you? What was wrong with you today?"
And basically, since then, it's kind of gone downhill.
Do any of them cook?
Actually, most of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
They're phenomenal in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Talk about
they have
no problem getting them married. Huh?
No, they Blair and her. They're good cooks.
Good.
Yeah, they're good cooks.
Good. Get them. Even the husbands, like the guys, the girls
guys
would be standing in line. You cook, we like you.
Yeah, they're good. It's nice, and we also we've cooked together.
That's beautiful. That's bonding time too. Look, they have these mommy, daughter, mommy, son, right? Even son classes, cooking.
Absolutely.
It is a bonding time.
It is.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
That makes it all not about food. It's just really about being together.
Beautiful. So any parting tips, anything that you want to get us to be inspired with the Chagim coming up?
I do. I want to share. I believe this is a minhag that I came up with myself.
Okay.
But around Rosh Hashanah, we all have the simanim. And, I usually do it as a simanim board because I love boards and I love serving on boards and whatever. But something else that I do that just makes me feel good, and this isn't recipe related. This is more, to be spiritually connected.
Sure.
Every item that I put on the table on Rosh Hashanah has
a meaning.
No, sugar or honey.
Wow, there is.
People do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, totally. So I don't know where I heard it. I must have heard it somewhere. Even if it's like a savory dish, but I'm serving it in Rosh Hashanah, it has a teaspoon of sugar or a teaspoon of honey, so that everyone should have a sweet year.
And there is an idea that the first things that you taste,
right?
Everything.
Yes, everything comes.
So there isn't. There's actually a thing where you're not supposed to bring anything sour.
Yes, I know.
Right?
Yes,
and there's a reason for that.
Absolutely.
It says ta'amu ura'u kama tov Hashem. You're supposed to taste the sweetness.
Right.
And that is exactly what it's about.
Also, I do these weird things, like playing. I don't know if it's playing games with myself or not, but when I make my challah, and I have the intention for each ingredient. Wow, what I'm putting in and what I'm making.
We do that in the challah bakes.
Yeah. I do a lot of challah bakes, so I always do it. But when I put the salt, which is just to bring a little bit of, till Mashiach,
Sure.
till Mashiach comes, I cover it. I put the salt. Yeah, this is what I do. And I use pink salt because I love pink,
Right.
and at least I feel like it brings some beauty to my challah. So I put the pink salt first in the bottom of the dry
Right.
ingredients, and then I cover it loads of sugar. Like meaning it's not loads of sugar, but much more than the salt quantitatively. So then in my head, the sweet outweighs the salt.
I love that. See, it's all in the intention.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I feel like I gained so much. I feel like I'm back in my own hometown now, my own home turf with all the cooking and the intention. And really, it was just so flavorful and so joyful and so delicious to actually be here and to be, one-on-one. And I think we should do a live cooking demo together.
I'm in.
And I feel like Hashem is so amazing how he uses, like when I do retreats, I realize all my chefing and event planning comes out through the healing work that I'm now involved in.
It's
and
all
this is
connected,
like,
right?
It's all connected. So I want to thank you so much.
I want to thank you for having me.
It really
I'm
is.
so happy that it worked out. We're
really,
here
and
together.
We planned this.
We planned this.
Here it is. Right. This happens. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. This has been absolutely delightful. Really cooking with spirit, cooking with your soul, remembering that Simcha is food for your soul. And I want to wish us all that we should be able to live with Emuna and cook with love and be able to put out great intention and be happy when we're doing it, right? It doesn't have to be a burden.
Yes.
And to find gratefulness in the fact that we have the ability to cook and to transfer that love. Thank to Hashem, right, for the food. And also to be able to do and fulfill, that which we have to do. Yes, and we have to cook for ourselves and our kids, but to be able to really enjoy the process. So thank you for helping us with that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And looking forward to our next OrTalk episode with more beautiful podcast speakers. And thank you so much for joining us, and share this with somebody who will really enjoy it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.